Hi everybody, and welcome back to Life Lemons Italy. Thank you for being here again, and happy summer officially. It is the beginning of July now, which I can hardly believe. The kids have been out of school for over a month, and I feel like I haven't gotten a chance to relax or take a breath or anything. I feel like June was just busy from just one week to the next, just different events and things that were going on. And it was a wonderful month, but it was very full and it just made it fly by. And so for July, I'm really hoping to have some time to relax and enjoy the summer and enjoy time with my kids. And because even though we don't go back to school until the beginning of September, I feel like once August hits, you just have it in the back of your mind and you just start thinking and planning for that a little bit more. But July still very much feels like summertime, and like you don't have to think about what's coming up. And so I'm hoping to relax. I'm not very good at doing nothing, so it's actually difficult for me to stop and just slow down. But we have gone to the pool a few times the past couple weeks, and that definitely helps. Getting in the water and sitting out in the sunshine is just an amazing way to take it slow and to be in the moment. So I'm hoping for a lot more of that in July, and I hope the same for all of you. Since the last video, we've of course been very busy with everything that happened in June, just I'm sure like everybody is. And we've also been busy keeping up with the garden and all of the pests that are around here. It feels definitely different here than in California. A lot more bugs to think about. And they have been doing a number on the garden, but we've been trying to keep up with them, and I think we're winning for the most part. So the garden's producing quite a bit now. In this video, I'm going to show you us planting the garden, as well as building some of the arbors that we put over from one garden bed to the next for stuff to grow on. And then I did a little garden tour. The garden tour that I did was probably about 3 weeks ago now, so the garden is actually quite a bit fuller and lush now, and producing more. It's really beautiful, but I hope you enjoy that. Also, since the last video, I feel like the property has really just kind of come alive with summer hitting and the humidity hitting. I feel like we have tons of birds, and we have frogs at the back of the property because there's a pond, and every single night they are so noisy, but they're really fun to listen to, and sometimes they're up around the house, which we love, and the kids love to see them. We also have lizards, and there's deer that are here and there, and we have turtles, which has been really fun to see. And at the end of May, I believe it was, they were actually coming up towards the house and laying eggs, and so we got to kind of see them walking up the hill and going to hide and lay their eggs, and then watching them go back down, and that was really kind of exciting. I've never had turtles on a property before.
Tayo, Ma.
Mm-hmm.
Man, here's a pretty top.
Dov'è la tartaruga? Lì. So we really all enjoyed that. And then we've also really been enjoying the fireflies, which my kids have never seen before, and my husband and I had only seen, I believe, just once when we were kids. And so that's been really magical. You know, you just come out here at dusk and just there's all these little twinkling fireflies everywhere, and they're so beautiful and very romantic, and we've really loved them. And I'm going to be kind of sad when they go away, and I'm sure my youngest daughter will be as well, because she asks for them every night, and she just thinks that they're so magical. So we're going to savor those and savor the moments with them. So let's see, back to this video. In this video, I'm sharing with you the garden, of course. And then I'm also sharing with you a couple recipes that I've done and been doing quite often during the weekends when we have our little picnics. And those I did on the video, and then they will also be linked below to my blog, so you can go there and look at the recipes there, or look at pictures or something like that. So I hope you enjoy this video, and I hope you enjoy your summer and enjoy the rest of your summer. And I look forward to seeing you in the next video. Ciao. Okay, everybody, this is the garden. I'm just going to show you what I planted this year for our first year here. We planted it's been about 2 months, but unfortunately the dirt that we got was pretty much dead, and so it took us a little while to get it fertilized and you know, just I guess to a state where stuff would actually grow. So these plants are 2 months old, but maybe they were a little bit stunted at the beginning. So we have 4 garden beds, and this first one I put zucchini in. I got the Italian varietal that makes lots of zucchini flowers, and we've already had some stuffed zucchini blossoms, so that's been really fun. I have been battling the squash vine borer, which is something that we did not have in California, but we have here. And it's just an awful little thing that gets into your squash vine and eats it from the inside, and it just kind of destroys it. So we've been doing what we can, and I did lose, this is big zucchini here, there's 3 in that mound, and I lost one of them, and hopefully we have saved the other ones, at least for now. Their season goes till the end of July. I just have to try and maintain what we've been doing. But we have been getting some zucchini, regardless of, you know, the bugs attacking them. And also in this bed, I planted some marigolds. There's like radishes and stuff kind of intermixed in there, and some basil and stuff that's kind of a little bit hidden under some of the bigger leaves. And then on this side of the bed, there's some arugula, and there was radishes. There's some borage, and this is some sage. And over there were some peas, which didn't really do that well this year because with the problems that we had at the beginning of the season with our dirt, they just didn't get a good start. And so now their season's pretty much ending. So kind of skipped over peas this year, but we got a few, which was fun for the kids to come out and, you know, eat a couple of them. So let's see, and then onto this bed. This is our tomatoes over there. Obviously, all those are tomatoes, and then we've got some beets as well. I'm not sure what these will do because they're another thing I planted like at the very beginning. Beets and carrots. There's also carrots in the zucchini bed. So we'll see. I don't know if anything will come from them because they didn't get a great start. But there's some beans right here, and they're doing good. And I planted some cucumber. I'm going to plant more cucumber in here, and over here where these peas were, I'm going to put in some more beans, so since those peas are done. And then so these are our tomato plants, which we've got some tomatoes on them, we've collected some already, but they're coming. And then I just have some herbs. There's parsley and basil and some flowers in this bed as well. So over here we've got these little beds. These were just left here at the house, so we utilized them this year. This has some radishes and lettuce in it, and then the big thing that's in here is a watermelon. So I've never grown watermelon before. We'll see how it goes. There's also some basil and borage here in the middle. And in these 2 over here we've got some strawberries. And in all these little pots back here I have some flowers, different flowers started in case we do get, over there supposed to be our flower garden, which I don't know if that will get done this year. I kind of have the flowers starting for that, but we'll see. And then I also have some backup, squash starting, and some zucchini and stuff like that. So just in case we do get kind of wiped out by the squash vine borer, which happens. I'm part of like a Facebook group for gardeners here in South Carolina, and it just sounds like they're a nightmare, and everybody deals with them a lot, and they ruin a lot of people's plants. So in this bed there's a cucumber growing, which is doing nice, and this is an eggplant. There's a couple more little eggplants started. These are my Italian ones that kind of got the first seeds that I did. They didn't make it, and so I planted these again. Now we've got another eggplant there, along with some more borage, and I think that's calendula over there, that flower. This is the silene, I think is how you say it, the Italian like herb, or I don't know what that's going to do. I know that it should be taller by now, so that might not, have worked out that great either. But, it's obviously a totally different climate here than in Italy. I mean, I guess maybe not all parts of Italy, but we'll see. Some stuff was just kind of an experiment this year. We've got some, super bright, sorry, maybe this is a bad time to do this, but over here we've got some pepper plants and okra, and then lettuce finishing up, and kale and stuff like that. So all this stuff is doing pretty good. And over here, this bed, which is going wild, and I planted too many things that vine in this bed, so next year I won't make the same mistake. But there's butternut squash here in the back, and then more beans. These little guys here going crazy is a melon, like a cantaloupe. And then this guy here with these huge leaves, this is that Italian zucchini, Italian pumpkin that I got, but the squash vine borers did get to him pretty good, and I had to dig some of them out, and I don't know if he'll bounce back at all, because I think maybe he was just a little bit too damaged. I'm going to leave him here for a little while longer to see, and then I'm also starting just some new pumpkin seeds, because really I think we could still, even starting in June, could still get those pumpkins as long as I can keep the squash vine borers from destroying them. So it was kind of sad because he was so beautiful, and he was already like producing some little pumpkins, and they were so cute, but they got him. So then intermixed in here, kind of covered up, some more borage. I think that was calendula, and there is also marigolds down in there somewhere, which I can't see. And then some corn here, and more cucumber. So so far, I feel like for getting a really rough start, and it being our first year in this climate with just, I don't know, everything's new bugs and new things to learn. I feel like it's doing pretty good now, and we've gotten some produce out of it, and that has felt really good, because you put so much work into these things, and then it just, like, especially with the squash, when it was just like killed that huge zucchini before I even got anything from it, it was kind of depressing. You're just like, okay, all that time and money, and it's dead, this mature zucchini. So but I guess that's just part of life here in South Carolina, and so we'll have to kind of adjust for it a little bit in the future. I did get some new seeds that I think they're called tromboncini, and so I'm guessing it's an Italian variety, but they have like a thicker stalk, or a vine that's more solid and less hollow inside, so they're supposed to be better for the squash vine borers, and I'm actually going to plant some of those seeds and get those started, just in case. And they're a trailing one, so I might just put it up over this trellis as well, just to see, just as a backup. So anyway, this is it. This is the garden. one of our absolute favorite meals and favorite things to do together is to have a picnic. We've always done this, but here in South Carolina, I feel like it's become a little bit of our Sunday afternoon tradition. We usually get up and go to church and then come home and enjoy a beautiful picnic together. And often we'll just have it at our kitchen table, but every once in a while we'll have it outside as well, as long as it hasn't gotten too hot or there's not too many bugs out there, or in the spring or something like that. But it's just a really happy moment, and it doesn't feel too difficult. It's a little bit time intensive to put some stuff together, but it's not like I'm cooking a big meal, so it feels like a little bit of a break for me as well, and I think everybody just loves it. Everybody is always so happy and satisfied, and I think the kids especially love that they can kind of customize their own little plates and put together the things that they love. And so I thought I'd share a couple recipes with you today that I make quite often. The first recipe that I'm going to share with you is an Italian recipe for a white bean and tuna salad. And I usually make this to put on top of little crostini toasts, but you can eat it by itself, or it's also really good like on top of a bed of greens. And I usually just will drizzle some olive oil and salt and pepper over the top, and I'll usually have that if there's any leftovers. So I'm going to put that together for you so you can see it, and then I'm also going to put together a tomato bruschetta, which is another like really famous Italian recipe that's super easy and really delicious. So, and then for the white bean and tuna salad, I'm going to put the link below to the recipe on my website, and I'm also going to put a link down there for a hummus recipe that I didn't show you how to make in this video, but it's something that I make all the time for our picnics, and it's really simple, or I guess a little more complicated than the other two recipes, but still not too bad, and it's definitely worth giving a try, especially if you've never made hummus at home before. It's so delicious, and just probably once you have it, you won't ever want to buy hummus at the grocery store again. So anyway, that recipe will be linked below, and as well as the tuna one, and so you can check those out if you'd like.